Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Data Dialogues podcast. And today we'll be diving into 9 fascinating secrets found hiding under people's floorboards. And I am your host, Larisa Bedgood, Head of Marketing here at PGM. And with me today is Kristin Jones, Marketing Manager at PGM. Welcome, Kristin.
Thanks, Larisa. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we always have so much fun doing these. And most of us don't really think twice about what's under our floorboards. Obviously, there's maybe some dust, there's a lot of dust, I know, hiding underneath my bed. Maybe there's a creak or two when you walk across them. But every now and then, this is what, of course, this episode will be about, people find something a little wild down there. Maybe it's a hidden treasure, an old keepsake, or things that probably should have stayed buried. And of course, that got me thinking. At PGM, we are in the business of uncovering a different kind of what's hidden in the house. So you like how I did that transition, Kristin?
I do. That was very smooth of you.
So maybe not treasures, maybe they are, but really I'm talking about the stuff that matters to marketers, insurers alike. Maybe it's a roof that's past its prime, windows that need replacing, and we dig into these details that really show when a home needs attention and those insights that help brands connect with homeowners at the exact right time. But you don't want to hear us talk about data. In the spirit of discoveries, we have pulled together 9 fascinating secrets people have actually found hiding under their floorboards. So let's get to it. Kristin, do you want to start us off with the first one at number 9?
Sure, I'll kick us off. So at number 9, we're coming in with the secret staircase to a mad woman's attic. I'm already a little bit scared with the title of this one. So back in 1839, a woman named Charlotte Bronte visited this estate in North Yorkshire called Norton Conyers. While she was there, she heard stories about a woman named Mad Mary, who supposedly locked away in the attic. And then these stories stuck with her, and they actually ended up inspiring the whole Mad Woman in the Attic character, Jane Eyre. So over time, the actual staircase that led up there got sealed off during renovations and was basically forgotten. So fast forward to 2004, the homeowners, they were just looking around in there, tapping on the walls, and they found it again. It was a hidden staircase tucked away behind the floorboards, and that led straight into the attic. People say that the attic had this really tragic feeling about it, which just adds to the legend. And today you can actually go tour the attic and see the creepy staircase yourself. So if anybody wants to add that to their bucket list, let us know. Let us know what it's like.
I literally feel like I am not going to sleep tonight.
I got goosebumps when I was reading some of it. I was like, oh, I would not.
Yeah, that's crazy. And for everyone, we are recording this in October, spooky season. So I've watched a couple of spooky things on Netflix lately. And yeah, this is just going to feed right into my imagination. So at number 8, I think this one's a little more tame. It is the remains of a Royal Navy ship that was discovered. And so in 1995, workers at Chatham Historic Dockyard pulled up the floors and found almost 200 old timbers hidden underneath. For years, no one could figure out exactly what ship they belonged to. It was a mystery. Then finally, in 2012, researchers spotted carpenter's marks and realized that these timbers were actually from a ship called the HMS Namur, which was a Royal Navy ship launched back in 1756. So very cool. This really wasn't just any ordinary ship either. The Namur fought in the 7 Years' War, and it was actually the flagship during the big battle of Lagos in 1759. I do not know a lot about it, but that was a huge British victory. So after the war, the ship was dismantled and its wood was just repurposed to hold up the dockyard floors. And then it sat there basically forgotten for almost 200 years until it was rediscovered again. So I think that is absolutely cool. Reminds me, there is a upcoming Titanic. I don't know if it's the actual exhibition, but something in Orlando. I'm in Tampa for everyone, so it's not too far away from me. And they have I think it might be a reenactment or something of just what they've discovered within the Titanic, but very cool. That's something I'd love to check out.
Yeah, that sounds super neat. I might have to check that out too.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the next one. Ancient ritual bath in Jerusalem. While a family was renovating their home, some of the workers' equipment broke straight through the floor and into this hidden chamber that was underneath the house. So at first, the family actually kept it a secret. They just covered it up with a trap door. Yeah, let's not deal with that right now. We've got too many other things going on. But then a few weeks later, archaeologists came in and confirmed what it really was. And that was a 2,000-year-old mikveh, or ritual bath. It had been carved out of rock and plaster and followed the Jewish purity laws of the 1st century BC. And when they looked closer, they even found stone vessels and pottery that had been used in the rituals. So just imagine, this is a huge piece of history, right? Sitting in somebody's living room floor. What are the chances of that?
That's crazy.
Incredible. Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. I just want to find hidden treasure. That's what I'm all about. I have some nice wooden floors, so I'm not going to use my crowbars on it, but that would be very cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, so coming in at number 6 are top secret World War II plans. So in 2015, staff at the Bomber Lawn Hotel in England stumbled on something pretty strange. A whole bag of old documents hidden under the floorboards. Turns out the building had once been used as a military staff college during World War II. So these papers were literally like stepping back in time. They covered everything from daily soldier routines to bits of code that no one really managed to crack. And one of the most fascinating things was a document describing the problems that troops had laying phone cables down during the D-Day invasion. So that's cool. Just imagine planning that out. And here's, hey, Frank, I don't know how to get this phone cable to lay down just right. Yeah, Todd, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if that's really their names, but anyways. But not everything was serious, just like I was not serious. Some of the papers were lighthearted, like invitations to variety shows meant to keep morale up. The hotel had found things in the past, like spent ammunition before, but these papers really were just a kind of hidden piece of history that was just more personal. So the more human side of the war, if you can call it that. But very cool to just see something like that crop up under, of course, floorboards.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting and neat find. Yeah, all of these so far have been pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming in at number 5, secret rooms hidden from rioting workers. So in the early 1800s, the inventor John Heathcote came up with improvements to lace-making machines. And that might sound harmless at the time, but the workers were afraid of losing their jobs. It was terrifying. Fast forward to 2006, renovations at his old Loughborough factory uncovered something pretty wild. Tiny rooms and tunnels hidden under the floors. It turns out that they were built as safe spaces for Heathcote if his workers ever rioted. So he was like having a backup escape plan or something. And the fear wasn't unfounded, it says here. At the time, the Luddite movement was spreading fast. Workers were smashing machines left and right in protest of industrial change. So people generally don't like change and it's scary, so they were retaliating. And then it says, in fact, in 1816, ex-Luddites stormed Heathcote's factory and destroyed more than 50 lace frames. He wasn't there when it happened, but the attack showed just how serious the anger was. Interesting.
That's like the first safe room. I love it. And these hidden little lace making factories. That's pretty cool. I've always loved collecting antiques, and one of my favorite things has always been cloth, like old flour sacks. I have a collection of old quilts. So I would love to see some of this like antique style lace. I think that would just be fascinating. Okay, this one's kind of fun. Coming in at number 4 is Shackleton's Century Old Whiskey. So in 2007, a discovery in Antarctica gave us a surprising taste of history. So under this frozen hut of explorer St. Ernest Shackleton, crates of whiskey were actually found buried deep within the ice. And these are bottles that had been sitting there since his failed 1907 expedition to the South Pole, more than a century ago. And somehow, despite the obviously brutal conditions there in Antarctica, the whiskey was still perfectly preserved and even drinkable. I'm imagining so. It was refrigerated.
Exactly.
But when researchers studied it, they found something unexpected. Instead of being heavy and smoky like they thought it would be, the whiskey was actually really light, elegant, and smooth. I am not a whiskey drinker, so I cannot give you any ideas on what I thought it might taste like or if this is good, but I'm assuming that was a good thing. And here's the fun twist. A distillery later used those findings to recreate it. So today you can actually buy your own bottle of Shackleton whiskey. It's a replica of the ones that survived 100 years ago, buried in Antarctic ice.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Of course, now I'm thinking of Ice Age. And I don't know if you've seen that, Kristin. Yeah. So the squirrel who
I've seen
hides.
all 4.
Yes, yes, Manny and Diego. And I
Yes.
always remember the line, "Where's the baby, Diego?"
I love those. I love that series. It's just so cute. And when he's in the mood to watch something like lighthearted and fun, I'll throw that on. It's such a good
Oh
series.
my gosh, yes. I think I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, George Washington's wallpaper. In 2016, researchers working at George Washington's Mount Vernon made a discovery that you'd probably miss if you weren't looking closely. So, hidden beneath the floorboards and behind the plaster, they found scraps of wallpaper, and each one barely a centimeter wide. At the first glance, this probably didn't look like much, but with forensic paint analysis, those tiny scraps revealed something very cool. A bold, colorful chintz patterns. And that completely changed what people thought about Washington's home. So for so many years, curators assumed that the rooms were plain and simple, but these wallpaper scraps proved otherwise, that maybe he liked things more colorful and more fun. His bedroom that had once been bright, stylish, and decorated in the latest fashion of the 18th century elite. It wasn't plain. And so the room was redecorated to reflect its original look, which gives today's visitors a much more accurate look into the world of George Washington and how he lived.
I was trying to hold my tongue when you were talking because this one actually made me chuckle because I can just picture, wow, like George Washington was pretty swanky. He like had his groove on. He had some wild colors back in the day, I'm assuming, and he put
Exactly.
his wooden teeth on his nightstand and I don't know, just chill out in a very brightly decorated bedroom before he chopped down cherry trees the next day.
Yep, there you go. He's probably a cool guy to hang out with.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what do we have next? At number 2, what was discovered was $300,000 worth of gold dust. So, in 2012, a family in Sacramento, California was having some routine work done on their home. Contractors were upgrading the HVAC system, and literally a job that should have cost, depending on where you live. I know I got to upgrade an HVAC system and it was pricey, but here the story says it should have cost about $6,500. I don't know, depending on where you live.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. But when the workers pulled up a floor grill, they stumbled onto something that obviously was not expected. Jars filled with gold dust hidden right beneath the floorboards. I probably would have dumped it out because I was thinking it's like, wow, this is just like gold paint flecks or something. But not the case. When it was all tallied up, the stash was worth nearly $300,000. And to this day, no one knows who hid it there or when. And when you think about it, this discovery really turned what was supposed to be just an ordinary home improvement project, which, by the way, PGM and Home Factors has pretty cool information on home improvement data. All right, and to plug. Okay, back to the story. But honestly, it was an ordinary home improvement project, and there's like this cool treasure within the depths of their house. I love that story.
No, I love it too. And hopefully they were able to use that money, that 300,000, to pay for their HVAC system.
Exactly. And I don't think you've watched Little House on the Prairie, but I have to give a plug for Little House on the Prairie. I used to love it when I was a kid. And there's an episode where the main character, Laura, she's all excited because her poor little prairie family is going to be rich because she discovered all of this gold dust in the river. She was panning for gold, collected, I don't know, 10,000 bags. She brought it to the bank and it was fool's gold. That show,
No.
like that episode, like always so, like it made me so sad. Poor Laura. So if
I know.
anybody loves Little House on the Prairie like I do, you'll remember that episode. Write me. We can chat about it.
All
All
right.
right, Kristen, what's number one?
All right. Number one, the largest hoard of Viking treasure. This one sounds very fun. So, around 870 AD, a wealthy Viking buried his fortune beneath a building on the island of Gotland, Sweden. And then, for more than 1,000 years, it remained hidden. So, you fast forward to modern times when a farmer plowing the field spotted something small in the dirt, a single silver coin. But that one coin turned out to be the key to finding the largest Viking treasure hoard ever discovered. What they uncovered was really massive, thousands of silver coins, bars, rings, bracelets, and more than 40 pounds of bronze. So, altogether, the treasure was valued at over $500,000. Definitely a good find on his part. Beyond the riches, it also revealed just how important Gotland had been, the richest trading hub in all of Scandinavia at the time. And while Swedish law required treasure to go to museums, the farmer who made the discovery still received a reward for unearthing a piece of Viking history, as he should.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably got like a free pizza or something. I think
Oh,
I would have pocketed a couple of gold bars. I probably would have then been caught and
I probably would have just kept it to myself and
I know,
made a little shelf in my
seriously.
home. Yeah,
Like, yeah, exactly. It's your home.
exactly. It's my property.
That was a super fun episode. I'm halfway ready to rip up my floorboards, but I don't think I'm going to do that because if I don't find Viking gold, I'm going to have to pay to put it all back together. But of course, transition to PGM data time. Ding ding. The real treasure are the insights that we uncover in the data. And at PGM, we do help brands uncover something that's pretty cool, pretty valuable, and that's insights into homes and the people who live in them. So, from roofs and windows to electrical systems, our data really shows you which homeowners are ready to do upgrades, dive into home improvement projects like an HVAC, and hopefully discover something cool. $300 worth of gold dust, maybe not, but PGM does, though, have a lot of information on homes, including project data such as that. So, if you are looking for data driven audience solutions that actually move the needle, please reach out. And on that note, thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of Data Dialogues. And as always, stay curious, stay creative, and stay data driven. See y'all next time. Thank you.